Welcome back, everybody, to game number 2 for the GEST Dota 2. Dota 2, that's right, not Dota 1, Dota 2 Malaysian Qualifiers Grand Finals. It is Space Monkeys versus Cogito, Sedulous Panda and his band of friends, whatever you want to call these guys. They are on the ropes right now. This is game number 2. They lost game 1. It was pretty much a stomp, I gotta say. And sometimes emotionally that can take a toll on the team, but these guys seem pretty loose, pretty low-key, and pretty relaxed in the pregame. We did have a long delay before game 1, so hopefully they're not going to let it bother them, and they'll just come right into game 2 and really beat the hell out of Space Monkeys, because I would love to see this go 3 games. I'm
Oh
LD,
yeah,
of course, and where are my manners? I should introduce my co-caster as well. He is Bedlam of DotaOnDemand. You can follow them at facebook.com/DotaOnDemand, and then the same for Twitter and Twitch. But Bedlam, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Yeah, that game, a little bit of a stomp, but I think really part of what might have thrown that off was that Wisp feeling obligated to pick it. So, I'm really hoping that Cogito get to pick the heroes that they really want to play, and they're able to at least run a strategy that they have in mind, and they aren't forced to play off of Space Monkey's strategy.
I felt like the Wisp pick, Tiny Wisp is a very scary combo. I was okay with them picking the Wisp if they had a plan for the lanes. But I really felt like they didn't have a plan for the Wisp, they just didn't want to play against Tiny Wisp. And to me, that's not a good enough reason to pick the hero. So we'll have to see where they go. They don't ban out Tiny, they don't ban out Wisp. Pretty much all of the heroes we saw last game, aside from the Rubik, are going to be available here. Rubik had a decent impact that game. I don't really feel that he won the game by himself, but here's a hero that didn't slip through last time. It does now. It's the Templar Assassin. Now, there are some counters available to this hero. Venomancer is probably the biggest one. Invoker does okay 1v1 mid. Generally, TA will win that matchup, but not by an overwhelming margin. Tidehunter the follow-up for Space Monkeys. So going for a good team fight, going for a very strong mid-game lineup so far.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting, actually. I mean, we also got to see Leshrac last game. Will be banned out this time around. And, I mean, it's interesting that Space Monkeys aren't really interested in the Venomancer, who's also seen as, one of the best counters to that Templar Assassin, just able to eat through those refraction stacks so quickly. I wouldn't be surprised at this point if we see Cogito look to maybe pick him up just to deny the Space Monkeys pick and make that Templar Assassin a little bit easier to run, get her stronger in the middle lane.
Oh!
Disruptor. Love it, man. I've gotten to see it a couple times now, leading up to the GST, and it always seems to work really well. I'm so excited to see this hero as a part of the meta.
I gotta say, Disruptor's Glimpse, overall, I think if anything, the other abilities should be stronger and the Glimpse should be a bit weaker. But Glimpse is just outrageously good, and especially with this lineup, they're gonna have TA who can drop down a trap and give vision to the Disruptor to set up, and traps have extremely long range, so between traps and Glimpse, this lineup can pull you back from like literally halfway across the map. You could be like at your tier 2 while they're pushing you tier 1. If they drop a trap and follow it up with a Glimpse, and you've just walked back there, they can either pick you up, pull you back into the fight and pick you up, or you could be really cheeky and send someone back to base as soon as they TP into the fight. I will also say, in theory, on paper, Disruptor can be a powerful counter to Wisp +1, because whenever Wisp ults in with the relocate, you can send the Wisp or her friend instantly back to where they were. And then if you especially if you send back the companion, Wisp is just sitting there with her hands up in the air like, I don't know what the hell to do. Now, that assumes a lot. We haven't seen a Wisp pick yet. We haven't seen a Tidy pick. But I'm just saying, if they want to go that route, I think overall Cogito will be a lot better prepared to deal with it this game.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, like you were saying, now they don't have to feel obligated to pick up that hero, and they will get to play a little bit more of their game plan, hopefully. Taking a long time to get this last pick before the bans. They want to be able to make sure they can cement their dominance here. And yep, they want to pick up that Venomancer. They don't want that Templar Assassin to be able to run around uncontrollably. Hopefully we'll be able to use all of his abilities to help hold her down so she can't get so out of control, or at least be able to bring her down quickly.
The only thing about the Venomancer is he does counter TA very well, in the laning stage especially. But do you really want to give Veno solo mid? In this lineup, you have an Invoker, and if you dual lane with Invoker, it denies him levels. So, I'm not in the mid game. It's a good counter to TA. It's just, if you let TA get a decent start, she may be able to find kills anyway, even if you have heroes that on paper can counter her. So we'll see how they want to lane it. Maybe they'll do a Venomancer dual lane mid with some sort of other hero that requires farm, put Invoker in the safe lane, maybe have Tidehunter supporting him. The laning options are still pretty wide open for both teams, which is normally the sign of a good start to the draft. Tiny actually banned out by Space Monkeys, so they're the ones who are a little bit worried about that. Maybe the Tiny Wisp combo, just the physical damage. And I gotta say, Tiny is a great partner with TA. There's a lot of cute combos. You can toss TA in, she can instantly meld out of that. Also, just the fact that TA reduces enemy heroes' armor means that Tiny, if you go for the right-click build, if you go for the phase boot drums, mantle-style agonyms, that sort of thing, Tiny's gonna hit even harder. So I like that ban, and especially if they don't want to pick it, it's good to remove it out of the pool.
How did we completely forget about Lycanthrope? Makes it through the first set of bans and the first set of picks. Nobody interested in running him. I mean, Brewmaster is also going to get banned out. Completely understandable. They don't want that huge mid-game presence with the ultimate. They're also going to have Shadow Shaman banned out, so just looking to limit the amount of crowd control. And that's something that I'm kind of noticing about the Cogito. It's like, yeah, if you count the Black Hole, they have a little bit, but really the only hard CC they have is Malefice and then the slows from Templar Assassin. So, not a ton coming out on that squad.
It's true. At the same time, the Disruptor's ability to silence everyone in a massive AoE, especially with Kinetic Field and Glimpse to set it up, that's very fearsome. If they can land a good Disruptor combo with the Enigma, everyone's gonna die, especially with the Sideblade splashing through and the Refraction plus damage. So I'm not too worried about this lineup's, limited CC so far. If they want to go for more, they definitely have their options. The lanes haven't been fully set yet, but generally we'd expect to see TA mid that could throw Queen of Pain, or maybe Enigma into the off lane. And then disrupt Punch! Punch, yes! Are you kidding me? Just as I was about to try and wrap my head around this game, they just blow me away. Oh man, between Glimpse and Hook, we can see some serious shenanigans. Like, can you imagine someone's running away, you glimpse them back, and Punch hooks to the spot where they were? Oh, this could be so cheeky. Now, that assumes a lot of coordination, but hey man, it's a Punch. I'm excited for this.
Clearly, you can't see how much I've been trying to high-five you since that pick. But that's awesome. It's going to be really interesting to see. He's one of these heroes that if you get to play the game the way you want to, he can be so devastating. He's just going to be such a force to be reckoned with. It's going to be hard to feel safe when Pudge isn't visible. It's going to be really difficult to try and deal with that. And it's just that fear factor that you're going to have to deal with and having to try and keep tabs on the map, keeping up the wards so that you can be aware of where he is. I mean, it might be difficult to deal with. Bounty Hunter picked up by Space Monkeys. I really do enjoy the Bounty Hunter pick. I wonder if they're going to maybe go for something like a Morphling at this point, maybe just to solidify their late game.
Yeah, no, Night Stalker is the pick, and I was going to say as far as the Morphling goes, he's not an obviously... He could be brought down pretty easily by this squad. Hook does pure damage, so having all the armor in the world is not going to help you too much versus Pudge, because he's mostly magical damage and the Hook's doing pure. And the Queen of Pain provides a lot of burst damage, same for the TA. So and the silence from Disruptor. I have seen Morphling just absolutely get butchered by that. You glimpse him back into Kinetic Field, you drop the silence on top of it, can't morph to strength, can't waveform out, can't replicate out, and often can be brought down during that time. So this is a hero in the form of the Night Stalker. Night Stalker Bounty Hunter can be best friends this game, especially if we see a Sunstrike Invoker. This team has a lot of potential to just pick heroes off all over the map and pretty much instantly at that, but in a direct engagement, they're very reliant on having the Ravage up. Aside from that, taking a team fight is going to be pretty tough for them, I got to say, without a good start. So let's introduce the players real quickly. Ineffable Him is going to be playing the Templar Assassin. Looks like he's heading mid. I believe he played support last game, so a bit of a role switch up here. Plane's going to be playing the Enigma, heading towards the top lane. Probably going to do some jungling there. Sedulous Panda on the Pudge, heading up top as well. Looks like he'll be supported by X, we're going to call him, playing the Disruptor. And finally, we have Obvious with a whole lot of regen going to the off lane. He'll be handling the Queen of Pain.
On the other side of the map, we are going to have for Space Monkeys, Dan on the Invoker, Bruce taking up the Bounty Hunter, DDDX Forever Love on that Tide Hunter, Bow Bow on the Venomancer, and then last but not least, a name I can't pronounce because of the symbols, unfortunately. I forget what you called him last game.
Let's call him 7, because that character in the middle sort of looks like a 7. So,
I like it.
That 7's a cool name, man. It's a lucky number as well if you watch Seinfeld. So, what are we looking at for lanes for Space Monkeys? They have a dual lane mid from the looks of things. Venomancer, Night Stalker up against a TA. This is going to be very unpleasant for TA, I gotta say. And I like the Venomancer pick if she's in the right lane. I'm not sure that Veno's always worth the solo mid, although he can build some nice support items. But in a dual lane support here like Night Stalker's not going to get the most levels, but they're really going to neuter the TA. And the top lane is going to be Bounty Hunter up against Pudge Disruptor. They already have Sentry Wards, though. And Windwalk really is not guaranteed to help you at all. Bruce, I could easily see Bruce giving up first blood here, even before the Enigma comes into the picture. Finally, the bottom lane, Invoke or Tidehunter. Up against Queen of Pain, I don't think they'll kill the Queen of Pain, but especially the DD on this Invoker, who looks to be going for the Quas Wex build. I thought maybe Sunstrike would be the choice because they have Track, they have the Night Stalker, a good ganking lineup, but he's going to have some great lane control with this rune.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important for them. I mean, like you were saying, when Ravage is down, what do they really have for team fights? So maybe really looking to try and get the Quaswex spells out so they do have the ability to have some kind of team fight presence. Bounty Hunter already taking a lot of harassment in the top lane, but man, I really do like that Night Stalker pickup. I think it's fantastic. You think all these heroes sort of have like a 1-2 punch, and I feel like the Crippling Fear is going to be amazing. Just some silence to be able to break some of that up, I think is really going to help them out.
Yeah, it also just gives them a beefy frontline initiator. You know, Night Stalker doesn't have to initiate with... You don't always need big ults to initiate. Sometimes you can initiate by just picking a hero off instantly with a hero like Morphling with the shotgun build, and that's a form of initiation. Night Stalker initiates just by running in and scaring people away. If he has a good start mid, which he will with Venomancer here supporting him, he's going to be pretty annoyed to deal with in the mid game. If you ever silence Pudge while he's rotting, that is the saddest Pudge you'll ever see, because he loses instantly about half of his health. But not instantly, but over the course of that silence. Plus, you can't dismember, you can't hook, and like you said, I mean, this is a casting-oriented lineup. Even TA can be brought down pretty easily if she doesn't have refraction up and you silence her at the right time.
That's very true, and that's also going to stop her from being able to meld and try and get away as well. So definitely something that we'll have to look forward to. And I think it's going to be really neat to see how big this Night Stalker is able to get. I mean, especially with Bounty Hunter on the same team. I mean, that's just so much gold through the track. I mean, as long as he's able to get up to level 6 and at least stick around in the beginning of these fights, he's going to be providing a lot of gold for his team, and that's going to mean a lot of items, not just on the carries, but on the supports as well.
You know, the one thing to consider is that there is an Enigma who's being left unchecked in the jungle, not being contested at all, so they will have additional golden experience coming out from him. Disruptor can do some pulls top. Pudge doesn't really need too much help to lane against Bounty Hunter, especially now that he's already level 3. For the moment, we're not seeing that, though. We're seeing Disruptor check the rune top. He has a haste rune spotted out. Maybe going to look to set up some sort of action mid. TA only level 2, though, and at level 2 TA is really not that scary, especially against this combo. So, looks like they might just dual lane mid. Gale hits on 2. Nice Gale there by Bao Bao. And, well, he's not afraid to use his Gales. Last game, he seemed very hesitant to drop his Black Holes, but this spell, he'll use it when he thinks he can hit someone.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to see some good Poison Nova as well. But yeah, Disruptor using this haste rune to get down here to try and land some support, I think this is really smart. I mean, Templar Assassin just needs that early game start, I feel like, to really have any sort of presence in the game. Lucky for her as well, she will have that minus armor, so that's going to help the team really deal with that Night Stalker, someone who's just so tanky in part because of how high his starting armor is, already up at 6. So, that's something they can look forward to in the future if they are able to get the levels and the money up on this Templar Assassin.
Yeah, it's, the downside is that TA really needs levels. You want to max your refraction out as quickly as possible. Really all your spells. Tideblade's not as important. Oh, this could be our first Blood Disruptor in a lot of trouble. Ward not going to fully block him. Denied by Ineffable Him, the man with the name that really belongs in a book of poetry. That was some poetry in motion on the Dota, Fields of Dota right there, man. That was beautiful to watch. But still, it is Disruptor being sent back to the fountain. He's not going to be happy about that at all. But hey, they do deny the first blood, and you don't want to give Space Monkeys a good start, especially when you're on the ropes in game number 2. If they lose this game, Cogito are out, and it will be Space Monkeys who advance.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really kind of shocked by how that worked out. I mean, Seven turned around twice there. He kind of wanted to help get that last hit, but wanted to try and give it to Venomancer, I suppose. So really just denies them that opportunity, unfortunately. Surprised he didn't just try and get the opportunity they had, really just try and get the early advantage and just close out Cogito like you were saying.
It should be mentioned that it's a lot easier to deny your allies when you're TA because you have so much bonus damage from refraction, which will help you to get those denies a little bit easier. Bottom lane, the kinetic field gets dropped, but Bao Bao denies the rune with his auto attack. Great play there by him. Could have used the ward as well. And for the moment, just a very slow start to the game. Aside from that one little skirmish mid top lane, Bounty Hunter just putting that Janata to work, forcing Pudge to use one of his healing salves. Pudge up to 700 gold. Oh, cheeky play. Level 1 Shuriken Toss to cancel that potion. And now he'll be forced to use a second if he wants to heal all the way back up. That is annoying, to say the least.
Yeah, I've actually this is the I guess the third or fourth time seeing a bounty hunter in these qualifiers, and man, it even seems when they get shut down, they're able to do really well. It's really nice to see he's actually able to get up to level 4. So I mean, clearly behind the Pudge, but doing all right considering that it's going to be a little bit tough for him at the start. So hopefully he will get that track up pretty quick and really become a force in the game.
For the moment, just Venomancer angling in, a little bit of harassment. Just look at the position in this middle lane. Even though Disruptor's rotated here, they still don't feel very comfortable taking a fight because they know if Tia gets caught out, she's very squishy. She won't have the refraction charges available to her, and without them, she's got pretty low HP. Her armor's not amazing. Nightstalker and Venomancer can tear through her quite quickly. And the other thing is that Disruptor's just not a great support hero early on. He's a good one. He's not like a Crystal Maiden, though. You really need levels up on him for him to hit his stride. Only level 2, his glimpse is
Top
good
lane
leveled up.
hard.
Oh!
Bounty Hunter snags it, just barely catches the Pudge ultimate, but able to just get that Janata to secure him the last hit, and that's going to be huge. I mean, it's been a little bit tough for him. He's been okay up here, but that is just going to secure that he is in a pretty good position.
Oh, Nightstalker in a bit of a pickle. In comes the Malphus. Black Hole is available. Will we see patience with this one, or is he just going to drop it? Yes, he is. There we go. Black Hole. Kinetic Field as well. Level 4 Nightstalker. Not the most levels for him. Having a bit of a slow start thanks to the dual lane. Now he's fully shut down. Or not fully shut down. He's still farming pretty well. But level-wise, that's going to deny him a little bit more. The second game in a row where we've seen the off-lane player for Space Monkeys really get out of control. Pudge, not a strong laning hero, but with the level advantage, you'd expect him to at least do okay versus the Bounty Hunter. But first blood up, and now bottom lane, it's going to be a kill on the Invoker. This is a bit of a trade-off, so they get something back. Pudge level 6. So now we're going to see the action really pick up. Bounty Hunter and Pudge both starting to roam around the map.
Yeah, that was nice too. I mean, Queen of Pain able to pick that up again. And actually, Tidehunter trying to go up there. Oh, in comes the Nightstalker with the silence, with the Void. It's going to be enough. He's going to get that last hit. And there you go, just right back at him there in that bottom lane, and he's going to just find out Bounty Hunter actually in mid will actually get destroyed after picking up a kill. 3 heroes mid to try and take him out.
Yeah, so many heroes grouped up mid. I mean, I think we've seen like 7 heroes, 8 heroes come mid at this point. Tidehunter hasn't been here, Invoker hasn't been here, but aside from that, everyone on the Radiant has made a trip to this lane. The Dire side, we've seen the TA, we've seen the Pudge, Enigma's come in as well, Disruptor too, Queen of Pain's the only one who hasn't, so it really is like 7 or 8 heroes that have been in this mid lane, and 7 minutes in. That is a lot of action, that is a lot of aggression. It's the first nighttime now. Unfortunately, Nightstalker, only level 5, doesn't have the urn picked up. Really, 30 CS, it's decent, it's not amazing. He's far better than the Pudge, who's sort of his counterpart, I suppose. But nobody's really ready to get super active around the map just yet. I think we're going to see maybe another minute or 2 of farming, or maybe not. Nightstalker coming in mid, but this is a level 7 Pudge and a level 5 Nightstalker. A hook is going to chew through his HP, and he will choose to back off in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just shows how crucial this middle is. I mean, you want your TA to do well, of course, because that's going to be a lot of your late game damage. And at the same time, you know, Bounty Hunter can certainly get to a carry position, but I think Nightstalker is going to be really critical, just being that meat shield with the silence. You want to be able to keep him up as long as possible to get as many of those casts off as possible.
Oh,
so
Queen of Pain is in so much trouble right now. This should be a track kill. Didn't track in that gank. Oh, that's a bit of a blunder. Now they want to go on this haster. Hooked back in. Bao Bao is dead. The rune just barely snagged by the Tidehunter. That could have been a double kill if Enigma had gotten that. But he will take the haster and he will escape. And boy, do they need Ravage right now, because the Nightstalker just not really getting that many levels. But if they get Ravage up and they have Bounty Hunter, they can look to get 2-3 track kills off of a team fight. Maybe your Invoker TPs in, and then they're looking good. I gotta say, this game, much more even than the game 1 we saw so far.
Oh, certainly. Absolutely. And it's good to see that it's not just going to be a stomp in the finals. This is, of course, the Dota that we all want to watch. This nice, good fight. And actually here in the top lane, it looks like they're really going to try and go for this tower. Nightstalker even trying to pull the creeps off, pull them down further so that the creeps have free reign, can walk right into that tier 1 tower, try and do some damage. But they realize the Dire team heading up here, they have to be careful. Pudge is up here. Bounty Hunter invisible, so he doesn't know he's there. But, you know, this could be very dangerous very quickly.
You know, it should be mentioned, one of the real benefits of this Bounty Hunter pick, it's not just the track hold, it's not the fact that he reveals the TA, it's the fact that when you're up against a really powerful mid-game ganker like a Pudge, track gives you vision, and you can also just scout him out while you're invis. It limits the ability for the Pudge to find those hooks. It doesn't stop him from trying top, though, where he narrowly misses onto the Tide. But yeah, that track ability is a very potent way to try and counter out the enemy team's gankers, as well as give your Nightstalker some extra gold and reward him for finding kills. Although so far, he's 1-1-1, not farming particularly well. Still only level 6, trying to get that maxed out nuke up as soon as possible. The pressure comes in on the mid tier 1, but it is slow pressure. They don't really have too much in the way of push thus far.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that's nice about the track is it's going to give you movement speed, which means it'll hopefully be a little bit easier for the Radiant to try and dodge some hooks if they need to. Obviously, there's a lot in the form of catch up as far as the Dire team. They do have the Glimpse that can pull people back. They do have the Queen of Pain that can try and blink up and chase people down, but they can also use that track defensively, and if they have somebody
Queen
with
of Pain, oh no, blink out, Ravage only catching the Disruptor. Looks like he's probably going to go down, but again, not a track kill, so not getting quite as much as perhaps they would want. Still, a kill is a kill. You know, it's just me being greedy. I love that track gold, man, whenever I'm playing Bounty Hunter. I'll track a hero 3 times. If it would give me 3 times as much gold, I would track him 3 times.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing, he's not getting these tracks up, but at least he is getting these kills. He's getting a lot of experience, which means that track cooldown's going to come down. It's going to be half as short in the later parts of the game when he finally gets at level 3. So hopefully, yeah, he's maybe tracking the wrong person at this point, but later on in the game, he'll have it up off cooldown enough that hopefully he'll be able to get every hero tracked.
You know, I feel the initiation was just wrong there, though. You want to really start with Tidehunter walking and dropping the Ravage, then you track to follow up, because when you track the Queen of Pain first, she's just gonna blink away immediately because she already saw Tidehunter. She knows there's 2 tiers there. So if they'd done it in the opposite order, I think they could have gotten the Queen of Pain for sure, and then probably gone back for the Disruptor as well. Either way, though, top lane, Queen of Pain forced to blink away. Not dying just yet, but Bounty Hunter maybe in some trouble now. Hook, no mana for it. He does have the earn charges, but no bottle up. This is generally why we see Pudges go for bottles, because otherwise you use a couple of hooks and you got to go back to base. 100 mana, still ticking upwards, needs about 30 more. He's not going to have it this fight, really. 2 dusts get popped simultaneously. 2 dusts crossing in the night. Tidehunter trying to get on out of there. Gale is going to connect. Not dodged by the TA, who could have gone inside Meld to do so, but just not quick enough on the trigger there. Bounty Hunter looking to book it out of there. Is nobody else going to die, really? Okay, so in the end, it's just the Tidehunter who falls. Not too bad, but middle lane. Oh, Disruptor, so screwed. Maybe not, though. Maybe not. Yeah, he's going to get out. Wow, that glimpse ability, man. Oh, boy.
Yeah, and I mean, the kinetic field just able to scare Night Stalker off. Oh, you can come for him if you want to sit next to a tier 2 tower and an Enigma. So he's just barely able to get out there, and really great that he was able to deny Night Stalker a kill at night. So very nice there.
You know, the one thing we haven't seen yet is Invoker really get involved in these fights. Dan's up to level 9. He is still the high farm in the game by about 1,000 gold. No time to talk about that, though, because Sedulous Panda is dead. And finally, Bruce is going to get his, I think it's his first track kill of the game, in spite of being 4-1-1. But that track gold will really help out the Night Stalkers. Now up to 1,300. He's got his earn. Out of nowhere, Bottle Earn Magic Wand. He's been farming for most of this mid game. And now he's getting the basic items online. And that is really going to help them as the game progresses. I actually want to check item progression in general now. We do see a 4-staff up on the Invoker. Enigma is looking to rush a BKB. And I gotta say in this game, if he can get it up in a timely fashion, that will be absolutely huge. At least in theory, it allows him to drop a black hole, and nothing can remove it. Nothing on this Radiant team goes through BKB.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'll be really important. I mean, they certainly have enough initiation through the Pudge, the TA, and the... once she gets her blink.
Invoker just dodges the hook.
There have been a couple of close ones around the map, man. Earlier, Tidehunter just barely misses one top. So, yeah, I mean, it's good to see the Pudges try, though. I mean, you miss every hook you never throw, so...
You know, I would really like to see this team use smoke a bit more. I feel when you have these heroes that are so effective at ganking, you just smoke up, maybe just with the Pudge and +1, whether it's the Enigma, the Disruptor. And all you need to do is just get close to them. You don't have to initiate with hook, although it's certainly the most exciting way to find kills. And especially, I feel for most Pudge players, at least my experience has been, sometimes you just have to get into a good rhythm. And some easy kills set up by smoke, that's a good way to get you on the right path. So far, not finding it, though. Bounty Hunter hits level 10, Bottle and Drums up now for him, so the basic items online. And again, he scouts out the Pudge, and this is really limiting the Pudge's effectiveness so far. Every time he wants to go ganking, Bounty Hunter's there. In fact, is Bruce really going to think about a solo kill and playing? The Enigma player, no, he's not, but he's just going to dance around here, trying to keep an eye on things for his team.
And you know, it's interesting too. You consider that Pudge had a level advantage over the Bounty Hunter.
Bottom lane. Oh. Dan just whiffing on the tornado there. Was really diving for Queen of Pain, but not going to go in the end.
Yeah, but I mean, like this Pudge is now having such a difficult time, and yeah, I think you're right about the smoke. It might be a fantastic idea. Really try and move him around quickly, and you can see actually all of the Radiant squad. They're actually using a smoke. They're going to try and get behind this tier 1 tower. They want some gold and they want some blood, but they're actually looking to turn around. Maybe they don't want to go for it, and they're actually might be looking to go for the tower mid. Maybe just pick up an easy kill on the disruptor. Still barely within the smoke. It's starting to run out. Will they be able to
Oh.
find anybody?
Oh, it gets spotted out though. Ineffable Him kind of reveals that one, and now Disruptor could actually look to turn this around. He will do so. Kinetic Field gets dropped. Can they bring down the tide before the Ravage comes? No, he's still silenced. He just gets the Ravage off. Now Disruptor will be the first in line. Tide pays for that though. 1-for-1 trade and the Ravage used. If that's all Space Monkeys get out of this, gotta say, not the best trade. Ineffable Him chasing. The refraction charge is slowly being removed out by the Poison Nova. Another blink in, but Queen of Pain blinks in and then immediately back off. In fact, the nuke comes out. It is nighttime again. Tornado connects on 2. What a tornado! Sniped by Dan. 4-step in. Where's that cold snap? He already used it. Not available for the TA. Black Hole is online. EMP gonna zone him away. Ineffable Him still trying to retreat out. And it looks like he should escape in the end. But Plane, Bruce has now joined the fight, and Bruce is looking to be Bruce Lee this game, man. Chasing onto Invoker. This could be the death of him. Where's that track? Where's the auto attack? Such a chaotic fight, but now Plane is caught out. And if they can get a track on and just a cold snap, he's screwed. There you go. Tornado to start, cold snap to follow. There will be no black hole. 4 heroes. He gets caught out. He takes a fall. In the end, they get a track kill onto 4 heroes, and that plus the 1-for-1 trade. Now it looks like it's worth it for Space Monkeys.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, still a really close game, though. Only 10-7 now. We only have a couple towers down, only just the 2 on the Dire side. So, it's still anybody's game, I think. Very easy for this to go either way.
Bruce has just been so... the other benefits of the smoke ganks is that you can actually see, when the bounty hunter's there, because your smoke will get dispelled. Then you can instantly pop dust, either to gank him or just so that you know if the jig is up. But every time that I see this lineup looking to check runes, looking to gank, bounty hunter's there. Bruce's movement, sure he got the first blood early top. That is nice. But since then, I've been even more impressed by his movement around the map, the way he's supporting this team. And now the track kills are starting to pile up for them. And now the Wex Invoker feels very promising. It's not as good for ganking early on, but if he's left to his own devices, he gets to level 11. His Wex is almost maxed out. Fighting into this lineup with Ravage, and even when Ravage isn't available, with EMP Tornado, it's very difficult. And, BKB will help you get your black holes off, but a nicely timed EMP Tornado can really limit the follow-up. It can also stop Enigma from getting into position. It feels right now like it's just Space Monkey slowly but surely seizing control of the game. And this lineup on the Dire side, they have some heroes that can set things up, but so far just not finding the openings. I don't know. What do you do right now aside from Smoke Egg? What else could they maybe look to do to get some things going?
I don't know. I think you're really right in that. I think they need the smoke. I think they need vision on the opposite side of the map. You can see they really don't have any. They have no idea where a lot of these heroes are. And yeah, when they're just running around like this, it's really important to keep tabs on them. They have so much potential if they're able to catch 1 or 2 heroes by themselves, but they just really aren't putting themselves in the position to be able to find them.
Yeah, that's a great point. Even a gem is a little bit greedy. Yes, you have a TA, and it could cost you if you give it up, but it would help you reveal out the bounty hunter. Would also give you some map control back, and as far as towers go, they are a bit behind. I hear a fish mid. Pudge not going to connect on that hook, but certainly going to keep on trying. And the beauty of Pudge is it's really not about the hooks you miss, it's about the ones you connect on. Maybe thinking about making it go bottom. No, Bruce is just both teams playing very defensively, but well, relatively defensively, mostly on the Dire side. But while this is happening, Night Stalker farming top. Invoker farming bottom. Overall, the Dire side just really not getting as much out of their lanes. And now TA tracked up in a lot of trouble. Cold Snap chewing through the refraction. Tornado will find the kill. Actually, it's Bounty Hunter who finds it with a Haster now bottled. Again, another kill from Bruce, who is really heating up here in the mid game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the way they're playing right now, I think, is so strong. And you can just see that the way this game is going, it's so important for the Dire to keep their towers up. Unfortunately, it looks like they're going to lose this one mid. I mean, if you just look on the minimap, you can just see that the entire game, Space Monkeys are just pressed up against whatever structures the Dire have available to them, and they're just tightening that noose. Meanwhile, on the top lane, actually, it looks like Enigma may go down. He is tracked up. He's going to drop the black hole. Catches 2, but one's going to get hooked out. We'll get dismembered by that Pudge. We'll most likely kill Bruce, but in the meantime, Disruptor, using that ultimate, will pick up a kill onto that Night Stalker. Now, the Venomancer ult is dropped. The Ravage is going to come out as well. We'll pick up another kill. Now, Ineffable Him has to be careful. Is pardon me, is dusted out. So they do
Oh.
have the vision, but will they be able to do it? They're diving past this tower, doing a ton of damage to the Tidehunter, able to turn the fight around, and it looks like Bruce is going to have to come in here and pick up another kill. That's going to be a triple for him and a complete Dire Team wipe.
You know, I think he actually turned around and killed off the Pudge there after almost dying to him. Just got out of rot range, popped the wand, and you know, this is the beauty of this build. The drums, the Yasha synergize so well with track, synergize very well with the Wex Invoker. The move speed of this team in general, they have a lot of abilities that increase their move speed. The Wex from the Invoker, the Night Stalker's Hunter, and the Knight, and then you add track on top of it, you add move speed items on top of it, and other mobility items like Force Staff, and it just gets very difficult to chase, even when you have Blink, even when you have Hook. And even when you have Glimpse, these heroes have permanently high move speed, tons of permanent mobility, whereas it just comes in bursts for Cogito. And right now, after that fight, I mean, a triple kill on Bounty Hunter, multiple track kills, he got his Yasha, he just had 2,000 gold and spent it, now up to another 2,700. And that, like you said, the noose, it just seems to be tightening. I really think at this point they got to stop trying to just sit back and farm. They need to try and get some kills, because that's how they're going to get back in this game. I would love to see a gem. Just take a chance, take a risk, get the wards off the map for the Radiant, and then go for a smoke gank of some kind. Because the way they're playing right now, it's just slowly but surely Space Monkey is just exerting map control, knocking down towers, and then occasionally finding the kills with Bounty Hunter. And if you look at the gold graph, you look at the experience graph, it's getting pretty ugly.
Yeah, and you know, I don't think I would mind this so much if they were actually getting some gain somewhere else, if Templar Assassin was able to farm up. But you look, and she doesn't even have a Yasha put together. She has phase boots. She's getting close to Yasha. She may have actually bought it and having it delivered to herself right now by the looks of it, but no big item.
Plane just gets melted and disintegrated, really. Oh, the hook comes through, not going to connect. Now there's a track. Will they die for this one? They will. Force Staff in. Into the Deafening Blast. Sedulous Panda doing what he can, which is to say, not a whole lot. Now Night Stalker joins the fight, and once this team starts chasing, once you try to run for them, you are screwed. Space Monkeys could have dived the fountain for that last kill, but they're not going to. Instead, it's ineffable him, who's caught out in a world of trouble, and he will fall. And that is 4 heroes dead. That's at least 2 or 3 track kills for Bruce, who's now up to 3,600 gold. It's going to be a tier 2 mid. They can either go into Roche, or maybe even look to push. They have 4 Arn charges, so they haven't mechanism up on anyone just yet. No, I don't think... the only person to really buy it would be the Metamancer, and so far not enough money. So maybe they'll go Roche after this. Maybe they'll just back off, because... yeah, I guess the downside of being this far behind is you do respawn very quickly. But either way, another big win for Space Monkeys, and now a Blink Dagger on the Tidehunter.
That's going to be fantastic initiation. If they weren't doing it well enough already, that's just going to add to it dramatically. And now they're looking to take the Roshan. I mean, you know, we were talking in the pregame about how destructive this Dire team could be if they were able to sort of sneak up on the Radiant squad. But when the Radiant is just pressuring the whole time, they're just being super aggressive. They can't do that. Now Tidehunter really low in the back while the Dire team looks to come in with the smoke. They do grab one. Tidehunter just barely makes it out. This member is going to go down the Venommancer and pick up a kill. The Black Hole is going to grab 3 in the Roshan pit. Are they going to be able to pick up any kills with it? That's the question. The ultimate comes in from the Queen of Pain, but it's not enough to take down Bruce. It looks like one will actually TP out. No, Night Stalker will get stuck there. Bruce trying to pick up a kill onto the Queen of Pain. It's going to be close.
Oh, what a hook! What a hook by Sedulous Panda! And now they want to go down, but definitely Blast. He's trying to run away. Force Staff cooling down in 1 second. Can Force Staff onto the high ground if he needs to. I don't think they have detection. In fact, they should be able to turn around. And the the Meteor wants the Pudge. Gets the Pudge. TA still doing big damage, but there's your Poison Nova. What a crazy fight. The Aegis gets forced out. Finally a great Black Hole from Plane. Oh, and he's going to TP out, just escaping. Ineffable him. Trying to book it on out of here. Opted for the Yasha, not the Blink Dagger. Yasha's nice, but up against this move speed, not sure it's going to help him. Sunstrike. Decent effort there. It is going to miss, but now they look to Breck. Block him in. There's your Ice Wall, and that will do damage over time. Plus the Gale. They get the kill. In the end, it looked like a perfect engagement. The Black Hole with Disruptor combo. Strong. But the Queen of Pain a little bit late there with the ult, and everyone on Space Monkey's just so tanky. BKB up on the Night Stalker now. Aghanims on the Invoker. And in spite of having a pretty sloppy fight, losing that Aegis, they might look to go high ground now anyway, in spite of all that.
Yeah, I mean, that was great too. Venommancer was sure to have wards up on him at all times. Dropped the sentry where they're ensuring that they're able to pick up a kill on that Templar Assassin, so just fantastic to see that. And yeah, it looks like they're trying to knock on the door. They might just break off here, go up to the top lane, go with Bruce, and try and take that tier 2, or are they going to try and press a fight?
Oh, EMP is going to connect. Sedulous Panda Ravage as well. Catches 3. Oh, that is so bad. Disruptor is going to go down. BKB Night Stalker, there's no way to deal with them. There's no way to stop him. Queen of Pain doing what she can, which is to say, not enough. The silence comes out. The void to follow. That is 4 kills, at least a few of them tracks. A triple kill now for one of their other big semi-carries, another big ganker. That's the Night Stalker. With alacrity, with all these items, with the strong right clicks coming out from the Bounty Hunter, they will be able to breach high ground. He actually opted for Boots of Travel and Force Staff. Pure utility from Bruce. Just wants to make sure he can always be in the fights wherever he needs to. Force Staff the Tide Hunter in, which if you need to, which he didn't there because they have to blink. But now they claim Rex, and with that, this might just be a clean toe sweep. Blink it again. Gush as well. Bruce wants to go. Ineffable him. Trapped out. Great kinetic field catch out too. Panda TP's in. Hook onto Bruce, but silenced by the Night Stalker. Roddy himself to death. Oh, that's unfortunate to say the least. Now comes the Enigma in. But one by one they come in, and if you try and fight one by one, you will just get massacred by the Space Monkeys lineup.
Yeah, I mean, especially we've already been talking about how much mobility they have, and actually Sonic Wave dropped. They want to try and pick up a kill, but nothing again, one by one, and I mean, throwing the game away at this point if they ever had control of it. It's looking really grim, and I mean, man, I think if you would have told me that I would have seen a Force-Staff Bots Bounty Hunter before this game started, I would not have believed you, but making it work really well.
This is when you know Force Staff is too good and needs to be nerfed, when even Bounty Hunter is building it. As a healer who already has track, already has tons of mobility from the drums and the Yasha, he still wants a Force Staff. Right? This item is just so freaking good. Not that he needs it, but hey, he could have spent their Golden Mask of Madness. It would have probably worked out anyway at this point. Hook in from the smoke. Beautiful play, and Bow Bow will be sniped off very easily in short order. Night Stalker comes in. Night Stalker goes out. Bounty Hunter comes in. Bounty Hunter goes out. Will it be in time with the Force Staff? It will, but glimpse back in. Pulled back in. Ineffable him. Big dive. The tower will finish that one off. Black Hole is available. Not being used yet. In fact, the meld damage. Night Stalker has got to be careful here. He's probably going to go down. No BKB, no TP. Turns around, wants the man fight, will pay. Buyback from Bruce. Instant Janata crit. Black Hole catches 2. What a Black Hole by Plane. Just not enough damage, though. And without the Black Hole, they cannot fight any longer. Dan comes in. Somehow has picked up a Desolator. Deafening Blast on Ineffable him. Ineffable him should go down. Indeed he will. And when it's all said and done, it's a team wipe going the way of Space Monkeys. But man, in spite of the fact that it looks like Cogito is just about out of gas, they have put up a hell of a fight in this game too. And after the thrashing they took in game 1, they definitely deserve credit for it.
Yeah, I mean, they're just so much money. Now they look to go in on that. Pudge taking a lot of damage. Will get Gush, and Bruce. Oh, him and the Desolator, too strong. It looks like Invoker will actually pick up that kill, but they just can't fight the money. Everybody on the Radiant side of the board is just so fat. Like you said, Invoker gets a Desolator out of nowhere, already has the Aghanim Scepter, already has a Force Staff, and Drums of Endurance. I mean, what are you supposed to do when you have a Templar Assassin, and the only item that you can really name on her is Yasha, and on the other side you have an Invoker with 5 slots?
She went back for a Wraith Band. And it's not a bad choice. You know, when you're in this situation, you just spend your gold, glimpse back in onto the Invoker, but just not enough. Or maybe it is no, not sure this is a good decision. Ravage again! Catches 4! Oh man, that's gotta be it. Deafening Blast hits 2. Kinetic Field not available. Finally it comes online, but too late. Too little, too late. And the minus armor coming through Track, coming through the Desolator, and Gush on top of it. Between all 3, it's a hook in, but it only catches a Forge Spirit, and now the Cold Snap. Look at that Pudge! Minus 22 armor before he dies. Ultra kill. The Forge Spirits as well, another form of minus armor. Something we didn't really talk about, but, you know, a bit underrated. In fact, they have a medallion from the Venomancer as well. That's where it's all coming from. All these nice little items and the hero skills just synergizing so well. You gotta say, Space Monkeys, very impressive display. They will be the champions for the Malaysian GEST Dota 2 Grand Qualifiers. Oh, fumbled over my words. What? There we go. It wouldn't be an LD cast if I didn't twist my tongue up into knots. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Space Monkeys are your GEST Dota 2 Malaysian Qualifier champion. They will be advancing into the main event, and I gotta say, they look pretty damn strong.
Yeah, it was really nice to see. I'm definitely looking forward to following this team as they like to go forward. I mean, just a thrashing after going through this tournament. It was beautiful to watch. And, hey, thanks for having me here, man. It's been a lot of fun casting with you.
Absolutely. Guys, I'm, of course, of LD, and I'm sure pretty much everyone watching does know my information. But if you don't, facebook.com/ldDOTA, twitter.com/ldDOTA, or just youtube.com/ldDOTA. The VODs from this cast will be available there. If you also want to follow my delightful co-caster, he is bdlm, also known as Bedlam, and you can follow not him directly because he doesn't actually stream out on his own, but you can follow his organization, facebook.com/DotaOnDemand, twitter.com/DotaOnDemand, and what do you know, twitch.tv/ you guessed it, DotaOnDemand. So, Bedlam, thanks for joining me. It was a pleasure casting with you. Bit one-sided of a match, but hey, we had a blast with it. Some fun picks. Any team that picks a Pudge is A-okay in my book. But there you have it, guys. Your Malaysian GST Dota 2 Grand Finals champions. It will be Space Monkeys who advance into the main event. There will be more qualifier action coming up. I believe the next one is the Singapore qualifier, which I hope to be casting myself. Maybe Bedlam will be there as well. Not sure what his plans are. But for now, that does wrap it up for today's broadcast. So thanks again for watching, guys. And if you enjoyed the cast, be sure to follow us. And follow the teams too while you're at it.